So we'll get to blah, 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 blah. We're done with the Zelda talk. I slept the entire day, by the way. I literally slept the entire fucking day. Let's get to Daniel Perry.
As you point out, this arraignment happened just shortly after noon. We understand that he went into the courtroom. That's Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old former Marine. He was wearing handcuffs when he went in. I believe we have some video of him coming out when he did not have his hands were not cuffed. We understand that bail has been set at $100,000, that Penny himself put up $6,000, and his parents guaranteed the entire bond. If he is convicted of this charge of second-degree manslaughter, he could face up to 15 years in prison in terms of a maximum sentence. We want to share with you a statement that came from Daniel Penny's attorney, Stephen Reiser.
Why does it matter that he was a Marine? I mean, I think that the original reason why they kept mentioning that is because they wanted to, like, basically say, like, look, he's a hero, he's a hero, he's a hero, he's a hero, right? I think, the other way to look at it is because he's, like, trained to kill. You know what I mean? Like, he killed this person, and, one, he should have known better. He's, like, a trained person. And two, he killed this person, and that he, you know, he's capable of killing. He did something that he's capable of doing. Have you played Papa's Pizzeria games? Exactly. You're not a legit gamer. Heartbroken. What? Anyway, this dumb motherfucker Daniel Perry didn't listen to a single bit of his escalation of force training from the Marine Corps. Literally skipped the first 5 seconds just to murder someone. Yeah, I mean, getting back to the Daniel Perry situation, the Jordan Neely murder. Yeah, I don't think you should, in a civilized society, be able to go around and, like, choke motherfuckers out and kill them. Like, controversial take. You know what I mean? I know. I'm a bit crazy like that. But that's my position on the matter. You know what I mean? I just don't think that you should be able to do that. I don't think cops should be able to do that. And they kind of have a license to do that. You know what I mean? I know I'm a bit crazy with it. I'm a bit nutty with it. I'm a bit bananas mode with it. Probably very unhinged, but, like, it should not be allowed. Explain why, though. Well, sets a bad precedent if everybody's getting fucking murdered left and right.
Not so long ago, in this statement, we have it full screen, Andrea, he said his client, Daniel Penny, risked his own life and safety for the good of his fellow passengers. We are confident that once all the facts and circumstances surrounding this tragic incident are brought to bear, Mr. Penny will be fully absolved of any wrongdoing. One of the things that the family was saying is that they definitely wanted this moment where Daniel Penny would be held accountable for the death of their loved one, Jordan Neely, in as much as he would be charged. He has been charged, and now he's been arraigned. Andrea?
Yeah, for the person saying, like, it's illegal, it's illegal. Where'd you order from? I don't know. Some fucking random restaurant. Dude, I don't live here. For the person saying it's illegal for cops to do this, like, yeah, it doesn't even matter. They still do it, though, okay? They do it all the time. It's just unhinged that, like, so many people are fucking defending this too. Hasanabi kilo almışsın. Ananın amını almışım ağzıma. Orospunun evladı. Sikerim ha. Kilo almışsın diyor gerizekalı. Var ya şu anda en son 3 senedir en ince halimdeyim. Amcık ağızlı pezevenk. Sikerim ha. Göt lalesi. Yarrak. Anyway, so that's a brief update on the Daniel Perry situation. We'll see what happens. Will justice be served, or will the New York court system decide that, like, human beings are now deputized murderers in the same vein that, like, cops are, even though cops should not be doing this either. And if cops should not be doing this, civilians definitely shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, call me fucking crazy, but I have an issue with like the wanton execution of random people that are being a nuisance to you, or that you consider to be annoying. Or you're like personally scared of. Like, I don't think you should be able to do that. I mean, are there circumstances where it's valid? Are there circumstances where it's valid to be able to kill someone? Sure. The bar is very high for that, though. Like, very, very high for that. In order to clear the bar of taking someone else's life, I think you should be, 100% absolutely at risk. Like, at physical danger, at risk. And this doesn't seem to be one of those cases. Like, you can't play the hero fantasy in your mind and decide to... You can't play the hero fantasy in your mind and decide to act this way.
Interesting how when a black person is murdered by a white man, so begins a national debate about crime that somehow never centers on the white man who committed the crime or the crime he committed. Only the hypothetical crime the black person committed in the eyes of the white people who decided to kill them, and white America who can only see them as a defendant and never the victim.
Damn, Ole is like fucking popping off on this. Okay, you know what? I want to watch the full video.
Dr. King's policy was that nonviolence would achieve the gains for black people in the United States. His major assumption was that if you are nonviolent, if you suffer, your opponent will see your suffering and will be moved to change his heart. That's very good. He only made one fallacious assumption. In order for nonviolence to work, your opponent must have a conscience. The United States has none.
I'm cooked.
America talks a lot about fear, but we seldom ask, whose fear is it that America cares about? We don't ask because we quickly discern that it's not that of those who should be most afraid, those who this country beats down and discards. It's obviously not that of those who have nowhere to lay their heads at night, who are treated as subhuman, whose government rather give them a prison cell than a home. No matter how many knots white America twists itself into, pretending that there is something to debate, that the lives of black people are intellectual exercises at best, and jokes at worst, I will not bend or break my back to join them, when the plain fact is this. On May 1st, 2023, on a subway train just a borough away from me, Daniel Penny, a white man, choked Jordan Neely, a black man, to death. While passengers looked, some recorded, some helped. Daniel Penny grabbed Jordan Neely from the back, choked him for 15 minutes, and he didn't let go even as Jordan defecated on himself. And once he was sure the life had left Jordan's body, he spoke to NYPD and he went home. He went home. In a city where I have represented hundreds and hundreds of people, all impoverished, many homeless, many of whom were arrested and criminally charged for just entering the subway station when they couldn't afford the $2.75 fare. In that same city, on those same subways, Daniel Penny could kill someone for everyone to see and go home. Something Jordan Neely didn't even have, which is why he was on the subway in the first place, screaming out for food and water, and doing so in vain, because the people his desperate pleas would fall on would sit front row to his murder, and not a soul would lift a finger to help him. And much has been said and asserted as fact regarding Jordan's mental health, how he was having a mental health crisis, how he was dangerous, how he was acting erratic, crazy, and aggressive. And there's been a significant effort made on the part of people hoping to humanize him by saying things like, the passenger's fears were valid, but he shouldn't have been killed, or we shouldn't react to mental health episodes this way. But I would like to seriously ask this: why are you defending against a premise you need not accept? Is it mentally ill to be fed up, to be angry, to be desperate, that you do not have a bed, food to eat, water to drink, and that life has shown you time and time again that you're more likely to get it from a prison than from someone who sees you as human as they see themselves? Is it legitimate to be afraid of someone for that? Not nervous, anxious, agitated, concerned, worried, sympathetic, or to feel pity, but afraid, so afraid that you think you're in danger, that this man who has not touched you, presented a weapon, or made any advancement towards you needs to be put down. Is it self-defense for a trained Marine to choke an unarmed, homeless man who had not threatened him from behind? Is a person who you must creep up and attack from behind posing a threat to you? Too often, even the well-intentioned public embraces, legitimizes, and concedes to characterizations and narratives they feel they must then defend against. I encourage you to reject that practice and instead embrace reality. The reality being that there is absolutely nothing new about what happened to Jordan Neely or how America is trying to justify it. The only thing new is the news cycle. On December 22nd, 1984, 4 black teenage boys approached a white man on a subway in Manhattan and asked him to give them $5. That white man, a then 38-year-old Bernard Getz, pulled out an illegal handgun and shot each of the boys. They survived, but one suffered brain damage and was paralyzed for the remainder of his life.
Yeah.
One of the boys he shot testified in Getz's trial, and on the stand, he said, "He's going to be found not guilty anyway. I know what time it is." Not only was Getz found not guilty when a Manhattan jury found that he, the 38-year-old man armed with an illegal gun, was right to fear for his life when 4 teenage black boys asked him for $5, that just their person presented enough of a threat that it was a proportionate action to shoot each and every one of those unarmed boys. It was he who should be afraid, not the black teenagers who live in a world where they could survive being shot by a vigilante and know with certainty that he will not be found guilty. But they knew that. They knew that because they'd already witnessed the press do to them what the press is doing now to Jordan Neely. They made Bernie Getz a symbol of white Americans' legitimate fear of crime in the city. Never mind the fact that the only person in the fact pattern who committed a crime was Bernie Getz. He received so much support he would eventually feel emboldened enough to run for mayor. It's interesting how when a black person is murdered by a white man, so begins a national debate about crime that somehow never centers on the white man who committed the crime or the crime he committed. Only the hypothetical crime the black person committed in the eyes of the white people who decided to kill them, and white America who can only see them as a defendant and never the victim. It was the same time then as it was today. I want us to imagine
She's so
that things
fucking
not
good.
happen in a vacuum. That one thing
Oyemi is a public defender, by the way, so I mean she's incredible, but I did not know how good she was at making long form video. Holy fuck. I mean, this is incredible. She is really, really good. Olurinati is the name of the channel, is the name of her channel on YouTube.
happens as the result of another thing. America is a country that systemically dehumanizes, abuses, and incarcerates both black and homeless people, let alone those who occupy both groups. And New York City is quite literally one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. According to the New York Times, the average rent of an apartment in Manhattan is $4,975 a month. The average rent is $3,744 in Brooklyn. To rent an apartment, you need to make 4 times the rent and pay first month's rent, last month's rent, and security deposit. 1/3 of renters spend more than 50% of their income on rent in New York City. That's why there are more than 80,000 homeless people, and 1 in every 106 New Yorkers are homeless. Yet, they're treated as a mysterious plague on this city, rather than the result of a city that preys on us all. When Eric Adams took office in January of 2022, he initiated what could only be described as a war on the homeless. He added 1,000 more cops to the New York City subways to remove homeless New Yorkers and force them back onto the street. Once successfully forced back onto the streets, he then began tearing down the encampments they live in all over the city, throwing them out with all their belongings with absolutely no regard to placing them in housing, and even proposing a $615 million budget cut to the Department of Homeless Services, and even arresting both homeless people and advocates. I want us to imagine that the reality I just described and what happened to Jordan Neely are related, that one thing can cause another thing, that abandoning, vilifying, and criminalizing homeless people leaves room for others to do the same, and for an entire city and press to justify it. If you can imagine that, It shouldn't come as a surprise that in response to the murder of Jordan Neely, Governor Kathy Hochul said, quote, people who are homeless in our subways, many of them in the throes of mental health episodes. And that's what I believe were some of the factors involved here. There's consequences for behavior. And Mayor Eric Adams refused to criticize Daniel Penny's decision to choke Jordan Neely to death. And he applauded NYPD after they beat and bloodied the New Yorkers who protested. In the world of the media, the name of the game is discourse and engagement. If something is news, they want as many people as possible talking about it, debating it. So facts are dismissed in favor of a million hypotheticals, devil's advocates, straw man arguments, anything to keep people pretending there is something of value in their opinion in a situation where there are facts. As a commentator, that formula is a particularly distressing one for me when a black person is killed by a police officer, or racist, or some other bigot, because I am asked to pretend that we haven't seen the event or America's heartless response to it before. But we have. Not only did Daniel Penny get to go home, he went to his bed, knowing that not only had he killed a man, but that the press would protect his name, the killer's name, while enthusiastically...
Yeah, they literally had his name and did not release it on purpose while talking about the fucking rap sheet and greatly embellishing the rap sheet of the victim. Please, let's take a breather and remember how fucking insane that is. Like, they kept saying 44 arrests, 44 arrests. It's like, oh yeah? So you're telling me this guy is a routine, like what, molester? Has he been arrested for what, 44 times? The fact that you would bring that up is insane because Daniel Perry did not know that. But like, for what? What is the 44 arrests? Oh, fare evasion? Oh my fucking God, dude. Yeah, I guess death sentence time. I'm sorry. The past transgressions of the victim does not justify their murder. Okay? That is a fucking insane standard that only applies to black victims of murder. There was like one assault, I think, under his belt out of the 44 arrests. It is incredibly frustrating to me that even if there were 44 legitimate arrests and not shit that like has criminalized homelessness by design, so you're forced to constantly be in fucking prison if you're homeless in the wonderful state of New York. But even if they were valid reasons, Daniel Perry did not know that. So what the fuck does that mean? I love the judges said there were like 3 or 4 assaults. Oh, okay. My bad, dude. It's not 44, man. That's the point.
Releasing the unrelated rap sheet of the victim and opening the town square to debate whether he deserved to die and discuss white fare. And I could launch into an explanation of why Jordan Neely's rap sheet is not proof of criminality, nor his deservingness to die, and rather a reflection of the way he's been criminalized and failed repeatedly. But I won't, because no matter how much America pretends he is not on trial here. He is dead. There is no great big why, special circumstance, or unturned stone that justifies why Jordan Neely was killed, or why white America insists on pretending there is. America is a racist country with racist leaders, institutions, and media. Jordan Neely is dead because a white man wanted to kill a black man, and that white man is free because white America is glad he did it. That's the truth. I know what time it is, and so too do all of you. I actually want to encourage Sloss to sue Jesus because they're just about down bad in every way.
She's incredible. This was a great explainer. No notes. All right, we're going to move on from this now. It's an issue that I've covered so many times. And we're going to get to Elon Musk, who has named the new CEO. Last night, there were speculations, and it quickly leaked that this fucking weirdo was going to be the new CEO.
And Julia Borston's got some confirmation on it. Julia?
Yep, that's right. Elon Musk making it official. He's tweeting out, quote, "I'm excited to welcome Linda Yaccarino as the new CEO of Twitter, saying that she will focus primarily on business operations while I focus on product design and new technology." Musk going on to write, "Looking forward to working with Linda to transform this platform into X, the Everything app." Of course, this comes after earlier this morning, NBC Universal announced that Linda Yaccarino, who has been at the company for 12 years, its ads chief, will be stepping down. And just yesterday, Musk announced that he had found a CEO for Twitter, and she would be starting in about 6 weeks. So now we have it officially. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out in terms of her building up Twitter's ad business after so many advertisers have paused in the wake.
By the way, Elon Musk is a bigger Cinnaboo than me. Okay? Like, everybody always like, Hassan, you love China. You love China. You love eating China. You love eating Xi Jinping's dick. Like, you're a dick eater. Bro, what he's suggesting with X is literally what China already has. He's trying to do top G shit. The difference is, of course, he's trying to do it through a private corporation without like any government oversight. Good luck as a really uncharismatic and awful business leader. Good luck to Elon for doing that.
Of Elon Musk taking over.
Julia, thank you. Julia Borston. Clearly, she'll be missed at NBC, but she's a force in the advertising market and in the advertising community. Got a hint? Remember when we covered the possible conference a few weeks ago in Miami when she was on stage with Musk, and he made it clear that he was there to help court advertisers and talk about the strategy there with some of his new content moderation policies. And they had that conversation. They were on stage. Yep. Remember, people were speculating then. But clearly, advertising is front and center here, and nobody better.
What do you think, Julia, it does to the emphasis on Twitter Blue, or the $8 a month that you would pay for certain privileges on Twitter?
Well, it's so interesting because here I think is a major acknowledgement from Musk that advertising really matters. You know, up until now, Twitter's been entirely an ad-supported platform. He's been working to build up these other revenue streams.
No shit.
The subscription business. You know, she has an understanding of how to get consumers to interact with ads, and I think that he's going to be deploying her to build up and sort of make that ad business strong, while probably in partnership with her, they figure out how to manage the subscription business.
Bro. I love that Elon Musk is demonstrating over and over again that, like, there are reasons as to why a company runs a certain fucking way. Okay? Like, every single thing that he came in with, he was like, I'm going to be a game changer. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do the switcheroo. Was just a fucking major mistake. And step by step, he broke it down only to be forcibly pick up the pieces and put it together again, like a child that broke your favorite, you know, your parents' favorite vase or something. Vase. However you say that word. Fuck. It's like, oh man, that's crazy. You mean to tell me that this fucking website is run on ads? Wow.
As well. But I think it is a major acknowledgement that this is an ad-supported platform now and probably will be for quite some time.
The breaking news overnight. Title 42.
I want more on this Elon shit. Which, by the way, the person who did this, turns out, the person that he picked is like some fucking Trump supporter.
Can I have a quick
Is
show
this
of
a
hands?
moon
Who's
video?
heard of Tencent? Can I have a great show of hands? Who's heard of Tencent?
Yeah, they want to. Elon wants to do this. Elon wants to make this, by the way. I have to pee really bad. Does anyone have another? Does anyone have another link? She literally worked for the Trump administration. The lady actually literally worked for the Trump administration. That's awesome. She follows Cat Turd and a whole bunch of like transphobic people. She's a part of the World Economic Forum. Like, so she's awful for the liberals. The liberals will look at her and go, "This sucks." Okay, here. This is great. Who is Linda Yaccarino? The ad executive Elon Musk has reportedly chosen to succeed him as the Twitter CEO. Let's do a deeper dive into Linda here. There's a lot of spa music that they're playing. Okay, this sucks. I wish there was like a better video. God damn it. This requires reading, and I don't like that. Pearl Mania covered it without
Hi guys, I'm stealing a move from Under the Desk News. Like V, I'm on the ground right now because it's Funny News Thursday night. Elon Musk just announced a little bit ago
that I like that he's not yelling. Yes, let's go.
He's going to be stepping down as CEO in 6
I like that this guy, you when you send me his videos, you're like, he covered it pretty good without yelling, okay? We're not doing 7 minutes of reading. Nobody wants to do that, okay? Let's be fucking real. You're taking
Welcome
this?
to the split.
What the fuck is this? What fucking YouTube drama happened now?
He writes strikes for.
What? I don't know what the fuck this is. Magnets Media, thanks so much for covering this. Wait, is Magnets Media the video that we just clicked on? About the China thing? What the fuck happened? Okay, let's continue.
6 weeks. And people immediately were like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then he said the new CEO will start in 6 weeks and she is going to be great. Immediately, the blue check marks on Twitter lost their mind. These people paid $8 and suddenly a woman's going to run the company. They were like, no, a female. And they just went crazy. They started losing their minds. And then 2 hours ago, it was finally leaked who the new CEO is going to be. And it's a woman named Linda Yaccarino. Okay. And people on the left immediately started flipping out. They looked at who she's following on Twitter and they're like, yo, there's a lot of crazy right-wing chuds on here. However, the part that's crazy and that Elon picked this person is when you look at her job history. For the last 12 years, she's worked for NBC Universal, which is owned by Comcast. She specifically worked as an ad executive for NBC Universal. That's right. She's been working for the mainstream media, helping corporations to be able to control the actual narrative of what's happened in our media for 12 years. So like people on the right are like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And then it came out that she's been an executive chair of the World Economic.
Can I just say something? It's so funny to me that like baboon-brained right-wingers are shocked when they find out that like a neoliberal corporate girl boss has, with a lot of right-wing values, is seen as like the perfect person to promote to this position from Elon, who they weirdly thought was like outside of that corporate neoliberal bubble, when he's a fucking billionaire.
Forum run by Klaus Schwab since 2019. And guys, I cannot stress to you how funny this is. If you just say the words Klaus Schwab to anyone who cares about conspiracy theories, they will just start foaming at the mouth and their eyes roll in the back of their head and they just go, Klaus Schwab! Like if you don't know who Klaus Schwab is or the World Economic Forum, congratulations. You have a good experience with your parents. Anyway, I started scrolling through her Twitter account A lot of it I can't see because I don't have a Twitter account anymore. However, I do this little test with some people where I just scroll back to January 6, 2021, because I want to see. I was like, what do you tweet on January 6th, you know? Because maybe she did the Kevin Sorbo where it's like, it's finally happening. Oh, no.
She was there. No, I don't know if she was, but it'd be pretty funny if she was.
It was Antifa. Like, you know, one of those type of moves. But it's even funnier for hers because she doesn't have any tweets from January 6th. But she does have tweets on January 12th where she's telling people to make sure that they wear masks and that we have to fight COVID vaccination misinformation. This is who Elon picked. This is who is going to lead. So she's being hired basically to be run out of town by the psychos who have taken over Twitter. So it's just a very, very funny evening. It's going to be so funny. If you're still on Twitter, you should leave it. You really should. Delete your account. They're going to sell your information.
Okay. She's right-wing as fuck. She worked with Donald Trump. She's a major Trump supporter. Do it? Fuck no, man. What are you, crazy? It's like one of my largest fucking platforms. It's what I use to aggregate news. I don't give a shit that it sucks dick. I want it to be fixed. I don't want it to be fucking... I want it to be fixed so I can use it again like I once did. It's a very valuable resource, okay? Wait. There's going to be a Spaces? Like, isn't tonight? I've been watching videos of her all day. I've seen and heard enough. Oh my god. Oh my god. Elon Musk made his bed with the dumbest people. And now those fucking idiots who don't understand how companies are run. Now those idiots who don't understand how companies are run by these like ghouls, these fucking ghoulish figures who have identical political perspectives to them, by the way, are upset. Budweiser 2.0 coming soon. And this is hilarious because, like, Linda, who I'm sure sucks ass, can't just go off and behave like Elon Musk and be like, no, you don't understand. Like, I hate trans people, actually. Like, she can't do that. You want to know why? She can follow Libs of TikTok, but she can't come out of the gates and swing like that because then she'll lose her valuable contracts and you know, multiple decades-long relationships that she has cultivated with the agencies. Her job is to literally be the foil. Her job is to literally be the mainstream figure with established relationships with like Ogilvy, so that they can bring these fucking advertisers back on the platform so you're not seeing the same like Jesus actually did something called Agape, getjesus.com ads. I don't want to see those ads anymore, man. What the fuck are my cookies doing? That like they think I want to see Jesus Christ. Anyway.
He's stepping down as the CEO. He said that he's bringing an unnamed woman to take over the job, and
Elon Musk is stepping down as CEO of Twitter and appointing a random unnamed woman, so I think Twitter is probably going to fail within the next year. And this is not that I think that she's not up to the task. This is a phenomenon identified in 2005 called the glass cliff. This is basically when male leaders make a huge mess, they leave, and then they appoint a woman CEO and blame the whole thing on her. Researchers who came up with the term glass cliff back in 2005 did a study of companies that appointed women as CEO. And what they found is that those companies were significantly more likely to have had some sort of dire financial straits or significant struggles in the prior months before their appointment. So what are they doing at Twitter? Taking out a male failed leader and appointing a woman to clean up his mess. I know he has plenty of stands everywhere, but he is not the type of person to do this out of the goodness of his heart. So in a year when Twitter files for bankruptcy, he has someone to blame.
I mean, what? Do you see that Elon is going to remove the likes tab? Megaphonics. You gotta stop. Just because we're covering a little bit of Elon doesn't mean I need to know every single fucking thing that Elon Musk is saying with your additional speculation on what his motivations are. Oh my God, I thought you blocked this fucking guy. Why are you like this? M. Hut says, calling it now, the prominent Twitter blue checkies like Cat Turd are going to unsubscribe and use some emote like a red X as an indicator that they do not comply. Oh, dude, that's so awesome. And you're so right. Too early to get libbed up, Haas, please. What? I don't think you need the, I don't know, Stanford business analysis like the glass cliff or whatever to recognize that Twitter has been failing for a minute now. And that it doesn't really fucking matter. And that whoever Elon put into that position was coming in to take the blame, because Elon Musk is not exactly, fond of doing that sort of thing. He's incapable of that. Which, why the fuck would he? He can get away with it. And he thinks maybe she will be able to pull off the impossible. She thinks maybe Elon will be able to pull off the impossible and bring advertisers back onto the fucking platform. Which, I don't think he will. That's it. But I do love the idea that, I do love the liberals who are shocked that, a person in the WEF could possibly also hold these, incredibly hostile ideas. Hostile to trans people, or, follow all these fucking weirdos, right? And be a right-winger. I also love the conservatives that were like, wait a minute. Elon Musk is selling out. He's a billionaire, dog. He's not selling out. He's selling in. He's been the system since the beginning. You just never thought so because he said the things that you agree with. Just because he says interesting, every time someone's like, Carl Schwab is, eating, babies for fun at the World Economic Forum, and he goes, interesting, something to consider, looking into this, underneath dumbass fucking articles like that, doesn't change the reality that he is a billionaire. The World Economic Forum is built for him, is built and designed for people like him. It is to uphold the billionaire hegemonic status. It is to uphold capitalism. You just are too stupid to recognize it. This is why I always say everyone's a liberal. Everyone is a neoliberal. Doesn't matter what your personal policy positions are. Doesn't matter what your, doesn't matter what your projects are. You know what I mean? Your little pet projects on the side are. No matter. You're a fucking liberal. Okay? She's a liberal. Elon's a liberal. They're all fucking liberals. In the economic sense. Not in the IDPOL sense. I don't give a shit about that. No one cares. All that stuff is just a distraction. Okay? Those issues still obviously matter. And some people are advocating for marginalized communities out of the kindness of their hearts and out of an empathetic understanding of the world. But ultimately, in positions of power, people only use that as just a way to get ahead or just a way to distract the working class. That's it. That's why I abhorred the idea, like, whenever people are like, Hassan, you're a lib, I'm like, I'm not. There's a distinction with the way I see the world. I might have some libbed up beliefs that you associate with liberalism, like, I don't know, caring about marginalized people. You know what I mean? But ultimately, my worldview is not that. I don't believe that the markets can solve anything. I'm cleaning up a little bit in here because I made not a mess necessarily, but I gotta make sure that, like, my food isn't left out like this. 1 second. Okay. Anyway, I'm happy that these fucking idiots are disappointed. And in that endless disappointment, what have they done? Whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know this. Tesla recalls virtually every car it has sold in China. Uh-oh. The business genius bringing the electric car into a resistant world and then recalling every last one. Sorry, Tesla investors and the anxiously fair-minded. I'm not content with it's just a routine software update. It's them being forced to remedy the dangerous bullshit they got to test internationally on public infrastructure with human lives. Starting in January 2021, both Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y delivered in China removed the lightest option for regenerative braking, essentially forcing drivers to adapt to its single-pedal driving logic. The Model 3s produced in 2020 have always had the option. While this is seen as increasing the range of the vehicle, it has been criticized by many, especially those previously used to driving fuel cars. In the so-called single-pedal mode, the driver depresses the accelerator pedal to accelerate the vehicle, and when the accelerator pedal is released, the vehicle slows down significantly, unlike the driving experience of a fuel car. I don't know what the actual reasonable criticisms against regenerative braking are. I don't use it. My car has the option for it. Many new cars have the option for. Many new electric vehicles have the option for it. I don't know if it's like a good thing or a bad thing. It might be good for like I don't really like it. It makes sense to me, especially in an electric vehicle, why you could do a single pedal driving and why it's like not a bad thing necessarily. Like, it is intuitive. But I'm old school and I hate it because I hate change. And I like driving cars normally and not in the weird way. The gay way. With single pedal driving. All jokes aside, no, I do think that it's probably fine. I don't know if this is braking when releasing gas is not natural. Zoomers need a video. Here's a video from Reuters.
Watchdogs are making Tesla do what they call a product recall. The US automaker has said it will deploy software updates to more than 1 million vehicles. It will include changes to braking methods and more warnings about the use of accelerator pedals. That's according to the regulator's announcement on Friday. While Chinese regulations defined the actions as a product recall, it was unclear if drivers might need or would be eligible to return vehicles to Tesla for refunds. The regulator's statement said that from May the 29th, Tesla will issue over-the-air software updates to 1.1 million units of its Model S, Model X, Model 3 and Model Y cars. This includes both imported and China-made models. It said the concerned vehicles did not allow drivers to turn off regenerative braking, which works to recoup energy from the process of slowing a car.
Bro, why would you send this link to me from some random fucking blue checkmark liberal? Like, what are you, crazy? You think this person has any idea what the fuck she's talking about? Breaking news, Donald Trump's attorneys are telling Trump that he will lose the Manhattan DA's hush money case and that he should be prepared to serve 1 to 4 years in New York State prison. Like, what are you, fucking out of your mind, dude? No. She's just making that shit up, dog.
The cars also did not provide enough warnings when drivers stepped on the accelerator pedal hard. Those factors combined could increase the risk of collision. The update will restore the option of switching off regenerative braking and warn drivers when they step hard on the accelerator pedal. Chinese police are currently investigating.
Does releasing the accelerator stop rapidly? Like, what if you need to stop in an emergency and don't have the option because the car only stops? I actually don't know. I've never used it. No, you hit the brake then? Oh, so the brake still exists. It's not like actual single pedal. It's just not. Single pedal driving still has a brake pedal. It's just that you don't need to use it as much. Yeah, okay. I thought they were trying to make cars with no brake pedals, dude. I'm so stupid. I mean, obviously, it's probably identical to the car that I have, which is where you still have the normal car and you still have the capability of driving it normally. I'm so stupid. Okay, listen. My brain is not working very well. Okay, everybody calm down. I'm in London. All right, I'm in fucking London. It's 9 p.m. here. It's the top of the fucking hour, right? And if you no longer want to see those fucking ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Yeah, you can do that for $5. Or you could do that for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Yeah, that's another way. What kind of car do you have? I have a Porsche Taycan. Right, fucking hell. Naruto AMV from 2007. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Very nice.
A fatal crash involving a Model Y, with the car's brake function a key focus of the probe.
Being in the UK drops your IQ by 25 points. True. Real. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk can recall all the fucking cars he can. He can never do any wrong. He's a big business genius. Except for now we kind of hate him because he hired a new CEO. And they found out who the CEO is. Excited to announce that I've hired a new CEO for X/Twitter. She will be starting in 6 weeks. My role will transition into being the executive chair and the chief technology officer, overseeing product, software, and SysOps, system operations, right? Systems and operations? I don't know how to read it. Anyway. I don't know how you would say it, is what I mean. So, To the Moon says, she. Well, there goes the neighborhood. Twitter was nice while it lasted. Women are always the ones to usher in radical leftism. 700 likes. She appears to be MTF, male to female, which is an outdated terminology being used by a transphobe here. The current updated terminology on this would be, AMAB, assigned male at birth. But the transvestigators are in. Usher in the transvestigators. Congratulations to Twitter's new CEO. Must I remind you that MTFs have fake boobs along with a banana? First of all, that's not Twitter's new CEO. That would be fire if she was Twitter's new CEO. I mean, holy fuck, I would use Twitter extra hard. I would use Twitter more than I ever have used Twitter. I don't know who the fuck this person is, but I'm pretty sure that's not Twitter's new CEO. MTF is fine. My trans mutuals use it all the time. I think it is, but you know, you never know. Okay, trans people sometimes switch up the terminology, but from what I understand, AFAB or AMAB is better. All right. So, speaking of transphobia, by the way, before we get to the crisis at the border, brother, because there's a crisis happening. Okay. This transphobic lady says, "Do you agree?" 64,000 likes, by the way. And on the left, you have how trans people think they look like. And on the right, it says how they actually look like. Turns out this is what she looks like. Which, of course, I'm adding on to my collection of every turf is bricked up. Okay? Sorry. I know that sounds a little fucked up to say. I know it sounds a little scary. But goddamn, like, you know, you constantly are upholding rigid fucking binaries. Okay? You're constantly upholding incredibly rigid gender binaries that don't exist, and you don't fit in them. Why? Why are you like this? You're so busted, dude. You are so busted. You literally don't pass. So why try and create this like stupid fucking mentality surrounding passing? Oh my lord, dude. Oh my fucking lord. And it's not even that you don't pass as a woman. I'm saying like you don't pass as a human. Like you got Bogdanov face, man. You look like an alien. You look like a Titan. Other Titans would be like, damn, that Titan's fucked up, dog. It's fucked up. Why are you like this? Looks like Spiderus. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, but I do understand. The people who are like, yo, be careful out there. What is this? UK schools warns parents about prime energy drinks after a child had a cardiac episode. Are they even that strong? Like, I've had them. It doesn't feel like it. I'm no bitch-ass child. You know what I'm saying? I could fucking withstand it. Imran Khan thinks you're hot, too. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, and thank you to Imran Khan for thinking that I'm hot. As well as others. Very long video, but Korean Zoomers are batshit insane. What the fuck? The most evil middle schoolers in Korea that got away with murder? Dude, every time I learn new things that are happening in Korea, I am more shocked. I just don't understand how the fuck this nation is operating in the way that it's operating. And I know that it's our fault. Okay? As an American, I want to apologize to the nation of South Korea. We did that. And as an American, I, of course, have to apologize to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. We definitely did that and still continue to do that. But, hey, guess what? We did it to both sides. You know what I mean? One side through offensive war, and then the other side through, the CIA and whatever, like some kind of like Marshall Program style situation where we were influence peddling and nation state building as we created this like client state. We really did that. We did that shit, man. It's fucked up. Anyway. UK creates America. America creates South Korea. What's next? Korea, America proof of concept twice. Yeah, no, literally. Like, Korea is so perfectly a representation of what America does, both to its enemies and allies. You look at its enemies, and it's DPRK. Okay? Absolutely destroyed. Under complete embargo since its inception. Its inception also is like an American invention, too. Okay? You look at South Korea, a country run by like 8 chaebols, okay? Where, 80% of men think that, like, 80% of men are basically saying things that, like, red pill incel pickup artist podcasters in the Western manosphere would go, okay, dog, that's a bit too far, okay? Like, dude, the average Korean male, it seems like, is out of control. So that there's also a reactionary average Korean female movement that is a counter to the insanity from coming from the hyper patriarchal constructs that they exist under, where the women are like, yeah, we're not fucking you guys anymore. We're not even dating you guys. We're doing, you got the no pussy pass, sir. Okay. Country's out of control, man. What the fuck's happening? Yeah, 90% of women are victims of violent crimes, dude. That statistic is insane. No, the 90% of victims of violent crimes are women. That's what is insane. There is no other country, I think, like, on the planet where that is a stat. It's men killing men, usually. That disparity is psychotic, okay? Every other country, it's usually men doing violent shit to men, and men actually lapping women being in the being victim of violent crime situation, or at least close. Violent crime victims being 90% women is unfucking heard of, dude. Is unheard of. Because the perpetrators of violence are men. It's men doing violence to other men usually, but in certain special cases, it's men doing violence to women at such high rates that the disparity is noticeable in the statistics. Anyway. I disagreed. They are the at last place in average size OnlyFans PP. What? Anyway, let's move on. Let's continue. Let's talk about the crisis at the border as Title 42 expires overnight, and how awful what is this?
This guy next to me is doing something very weird in his raincoat.
I think he's masturbating.
Yeah, is this a masturbation joke?
What? This is from 5 years ago, man. When I studied in Korea, I constantly had to be on the lookout for hidden cameras. I was so nervous to use the public bathrooms. All right, let's get to the immigration crisis happening in our border. Which, of course, is a crisis because there are human beings who are suffering. And that's why it's a crisis. But, of course, if you ask the media, it's not a crisis that, like, all these people want to seek asylum in the United States of America. It's a crisis that they're at the border to begin with and, fucking up the place.
Pandemic-era immigration policy is officially over, and we're going to talk with the Homeland Security Secretary in a moment. But first, we're live on both sides of the border this morning. Maria Villarreal is going to start us off in El Paso. Good morning, Maria.
Hey, good morning, Michael. There were concerns and predictions that once Title 42 ended, we would see a rush of migrants at the southern border. That didn't happen here in El Paso, Texas, but what we did see was 150 migrants dropped off at the school behind me that is now being used as a shelter, the first group so far.
This morning, as Title 42 officially comes to an end, migrants amassing along the U.S. border with a surge of American authorities waiting on the other side.
We have a lot of different agencies here, as you can see. Plus, there's even more just on standby if needs be.
As of midnight, most asylum applications in the U.S. now require two things. Non-Mexican migrants must first apply for and be denied asylum in another country, and migrants will have to make an appointment on the CBP One app. If the rules aren't followed, migrants face deportation and are not allowed to enter the U.S. for at least 5 years. Overnight, a federal judge temporarily blocking part of the White House's plan to address border crossings, barring federal agencies from releasing migrants before they've been given a notice to appear in court. Amid already overcrowded facilities and millions of cases already on the court's backlog, Customs and Border Protection calling the ruling harmful, saying it will undercut our ability to efficiently process and remove migrants and risks creating dangerous conditions for Border Patrol agents and migrants. That overcrowding exacerbated in Title 42's final days. Large groups of migrants rushing to the southern border to beat the clock.
¿Cuántos días están aquí esperando? 4 days.
This family with 4 children waiting to get processed near the border wall in El Paso for 4 days, one of the last groups to come through before new, steeper consequences set in. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz confirming already there are 26,000 people in custody. To relieve the pressure, officials flying asylum seekers to other parts of the country for processing. And overnight, an El Paso city-run shelter receiving several busloads of migrants.
And the Biden administration overnight taking another hit. The ACLU confirming they are now suing the government over what they are calling the travel ban. That is the consequence. It says that you have to go through another country and be denied asylum before you can come here to the United States. George?
Okay, Maria, thanks.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Now we're joined now by Secretary.
Okay, so I think I've talked about why there are people coming over the border to the United States of America many times over. People understand that at this point, you know. People are trying to escape the dire economic situation that they're forced to live in many instances. A lot of those awful economic circumstances were manufactured by human beings, i.e. the United States of America. You know, that's why they're trying to come here. A lot of them are escaping rape and horrific kinds of violence, and many have valid claims for asylum seeking in the country. Of course, there are two ways to deal with this. One is the way that we're dealing with it, which is like increasing the dial of violence that these people are subjected to as we desperately dehumanize them, even though they are simply human beings just like you and I that are looking for a better alternative to their form of existence. And then there's the other way to deal with it, which is what we're not doing, which is to allow them safe passage and an opportunity to become productive members of society without constantly living in fear that the government will come and rip them away from their friends, family, and their current mode of existence once they are able to successfully cross the border and start a life here. Now, the reason why we don't do the second thing and the reason why we do the first thing is because, well, this might come as a surprise to you, but it's money. Give money. Do ya? Money. That's the reason why we do that, because corporations make money off of undocumented labor. They find it to be much, much more favorable to their profit margins when they're able to utilize a group of individuals that are the permanent underclass, that are not protected legally by the systems, even though the American, I can't stop doing the Yilong Ma money thing, okay? I can't. People are not going to know where that's from, and they're going to cancel you. I mean, it doesn't even sound like I'm making a Chinese accent, so it would be hard for them to people think. It would be hard for people to think I'm doing a xenophobic accent. You know what I mean? It's like a H3 soundbite that's stuck in my fucking mind. It does. Don't down people. Okay, well, regardless. I am China's strongest, bravest warrior. Anyone who thinks I'm being xenophobic can suck my dick. There is no man on this planet that loves China as much as I do. Please don't make me play the song. Okay, let's play the song anyway, though. That's right. The real reason why the American corporations can get away with this is because you have a permanent underclass of undocumented immigrants that are escaping dire situations back home, coming to the United States of America and working for pennies on the dollar with zero legal protections. Even though the American working class already doesn't have a lot of legal protections. But that's not enough for the corporations that are constantly seeking further profits and, you know, trying to find it wherever they can, specifically with labor. And that's the real reason. So, having said that, knowing all of that, it's kind of a ridiculous conversation to have, the constant back and forth over this idiotic fucking situation, as we seek to justify, further subjugation for these people, who are, again, and I can't stress this enough, regular old people, just like you or I. People with dreams, people with children, people that want to fucking put food on the table and shelter over their and a roof over their heads. Anyway, let's continue.
Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us this morning. Hours since Title 42 expired. What are you seeing at the border right now?
George, thanks for having me. We're seeing precisely the challenge that we expected. We knew this was going to be a difficult transition when Title 42, the public health authority that stemmed from the COVID-19 pandemic, when it ended. And indeed, it ended at 11:59 p.m. last night. And now we are using our immigration authorities, our traditional immigration authorities that deliver tougher consequences for people who cross the border illegally.
Tougher consequences, but right now you have a lot of migrants at the border, limited food, limited water. Could this have been avoided?
You know, George, this is something that we were ready for. We cannot control the movement of people before they reach our border. Our responsibility attaches once they are in our custody. I will tell you, we have made it very, very clear, and we continue.
I love liberalism, dude. I love liberalism. I love liberals so much. They're like, oh yeah, we are ending Title 42 because it was bullshit. But fear not, we're still utilizing Trump's like incredibly nefarious, awful white nativist immigration policy that dictates that you can't like touch another country on your way to the United States of America. Like, yeah, dude, people in fucking Guatemala are like are super fond of like living in Mexico when like people from Mexico are coming to America. You know what I mean? It's such a weird and stupid and counterproductive and racist fucking argument. Especially because it's like, yeah, dog, you're claiming that the United States of America, the wealthiest nation on the motherfucking planet, in the history of the planet, does not have the resources to take care of like, a million migrants coming over the fucking border, but like Mexico does? Bitch, Mexicans are coming here. What the fuck do you mean? Really, dude? No, it's very obvious that it's not about who can take care of these people and more about who we can threaten financially with tariffs, who we can threaten economically, like Mexico. That's it.
To communicate to migrants that this is not the way.
I do agree with you, but is it that simple? South American population is higher than the USA. If it becomes easy, what happens to 100 million people come suddenly? This is so fucking stupid. Okay? This is stupid. You want to know why it's stupid? It's technically easy for you to leave whatever bumfuck fucking town you live in, but yet you don't do that. Okay? Do you want to know why you don't do that? Because why the fuck do you want to leave? Also, did he say the American population is 100 million? You think 100 million people are going to come to America? Like, the only thing stopping them is that, you know, they have to do paperwork and shit and come through legally, through the legal channels? And it's not that these people aren't coming here. It's that these people are already here. There's more than 10 million, maybe approximately 20 million people that live on U.S. soil right now that simply do not have the legal paperwork and are being treated as a permanent underclass because it is very effective for businesses who want to seek higher profit margins. That's it. The entire agricultural industry in this goddamn nation runs on migrant labor that is treated like fucking shit. It is by design.
To seek relief in the United States. It's extraordinarily dangerous. They are in the hands of ruthless smugglers. We have built lawful, safe, and orderly pathways for them to come to the United States. They are going to meet tough consequences if they arrive at our border irregularly.
What is your reaction to this ruling from a federal judge last night blocking you from releasing more migrants into the U.S. without an order to show up in court?
Georgia, we consider it a very harmful ruling. The practice of releasing individuals when our Border Patrol facilities, when our Border Patrol stations are overcrowded is something that each administration has done from administration to administration. This is a harmful ruling, and the Department of Justice is considering our options.
You see Texas Governor Greg Abbott is starting to send more buses of migrants all across the country right now. He says he's doing it because the administration is not doing its job.
George, it is a very sad and tragic day when a government official uses human beings as pawns to score political points. Objection.
And at this point, how long is the situation going to go on, and is it going to get worse before it gets better?
We have said all along that this period of transition from using a public health authority to our traditional immigration authorities is going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. But we have a plan. We've been executing on our plan. It will take time, but we have confidence that our plan will work.
Yeah, motherfucker said objection, dude. Overruled, bitch. Ace attorney ass motherfucker, dude. Holy shit. Boys, is Phoenix right in the building? Except it's Phoenix wrong, okay? God, liberals are so fucking corny too. On top of all the other awful shit that they do, their biggest crime is being permanently corny, okay? Insanely corny. Just a bunch of fucking cornballs. Yikes.
It has worked in the past.
Secretary Marcus, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, George.
Good evening. Let's get to Anderson Cooper talking about the criticism that CNN has received from the Trump town hall. Now, of course, we talked about this extensively. Donald Trump did a town hall where he fucking owned, okay? He took his dick out and he slapped everyone in the crowd. And they said, please, sir, can I have some more? The fact that CNN is even trying to defend against, like, you know, the bias allegations is funny to me. Because why? Just say that you're right wing. Like, you're very clearly trying to do that. So who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wasn't allowed to put that in. All of these things but with her, they could put in anything. Access, her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wasn't allowed to put that in. All of these things
her cat was named Vagina. Come on, dude. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, he just popped the fuck off, dude. Cable news has ruined this country more than anything else. It should be heavily regulated. Yeah, I don't. Oh, before I forget, here's Senator Ted Cruz berating reporters for pressing him on what he'd done to help improve the immigration system.
Thank you. So what have specifically the Republican members that are here today, what have you all done to help Joe Biden in this?
Okay. All right. So that's a ridiculous and silly question. I want to commend you for being the media and telling a Democrat policy. So let me ask you something.
Come on, man. That's been going on for 20 years.
Okay. Hey.
The reporter said, come on, man. Like, what? It didn't happen yesterday, you fucking piece of shit. What are you doing? Where? It's not like a natural disaster, you know? These are fucking human beings. Come on, man. It's been happening for 20 years. Come on.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. What rate of illegal immigration did we have in 2020?
But you have
Do you know anything? I asked you a question. Do you know anything?
How long have you been in office?
I've been in office 11 years now.
And this has been kicked the count during multiple administrations.
Except your okay, you don't get to argue with me. You asked your question. You asked your question. You don't get. You want to hold a press conference? You can do it over there.
You have multiple.
You want to hold a press conference? You can do it over there.
How are you?
So hold on. I'm going to answer his question. The talking point of the Democrats, which this media reporter happily parrots, is, gosh, the problem can't be fixed. There's one little problem with that. It is an utter and complete lie. In 2020, the last year of the Trump presidency, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. You ask, what have I done? I've championed the men and women.
Yeah. Because COVID, dog. Like, it fucking restricted movement dramatically. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, yeah. And it wasn't even Title 42, because Title 42 still is in existence now, but immigration went up. That's it. They always use COVID. It's so funny. They're like, whenever Donald Trump says, gas prices were so low, they were so low, it's like, yeah, dude, because COVID, man. Like, what do you mean? You can't use that as like a good reason. It's like me saying, like, oh man, fucking under Donald Trump, Twitch was popping. You know what I mean? In 2020, Twitch was popping. 2021, Twitch was popping. 2022, Twitch was popping. And then the numbers are like decreasing since 2021. It's like it's insane. It's so bad faith. It's so stupid. Yeah, because fucking COVID. That's it.
Women of Border Patrol. I've championed securing the border. I've championed remain in Mexico.
Anyway. Oh, here's the other byproduct of the immigration bill.
South Florida has been home to migrants, and many times they do work that others may not want to do or are able to do. But a new immigration crackdown by the Florida legislature and Governor Ron DeSantis is now making it harder for them to live and work in the state.
And even though the policy is not yet in effect, CBS News Miami's Gabriel Arzola shows us how it has already shaken.
Yeah, 60 to 70% of illegal immigration aren't even border hopping anymore either. This isn't fucking 1993, dog. Okay? That's the other part of it. Like, the majority of immigrants that are undocumented in this country are visa overstayers. They come in via plane. It's not like they're coming through the fucking border either. It's so stupid. And I have no issue with them, and I have no, except for Elon Musk. But I do have an issue with that. We should go back in time and deport his ass. But other than that, like, you know, these are just people, man. They're people.
Taken the undocumented community along with employers they work for.
A recent survey from the Migration Policy Institute says there are around 800,000 undocumented immigrants right here in the state of Florida, many taking jobs like construction and agriculture, but that may not be for long.
Around South Florida, labor workers are becoming more and more scarce by the day, according to some employees.
People aren't showing up to work because they're scared of being deported.
And critics say Senate Bill 1718 is to blame.
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
According to the bill, businesses could face up to a $10,000 fine per undocumented employee, and the state could
Yeah, this is what you do if you actually want to fucking take down immigration, by the way, undocumented immigration. I've said this before, and once again, Ron DeSantis is so fucking stupid that he literally looked at, like, the culture war against Disney and actually tried to, like, take initiatives against Disney. And Ron DeSantis actually was like, no, yeah, like, we got to do something about this undocumented immigration. Instead of just saying it and not doing anything. Hey, fucking dumbass, you're not supposed to do anything. You're so fucking stupid. The entire reason why we play this little song and dance between the Republicans and the Democrats is because you're not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to help the corporations, you fucking idiot. You're not supposed to genuinely harm them, and you keep doing it. It's not like Ron DeSantis himself is like an ideological Nazi or anything. I think he's just really fucking stupid. I genuinely think he's just so stupid. He's putting his money where his mouth is. Yeah, except he's not going to have any money any longer if he keeps this shit up. If you do that, you will actually fucking end up hurting businesses. And the entire reason for why... Imagine calling the guy who went to Harvard stupid when your ass went to Rutgers. I mean, I'm a fucking idiot too, but even I'm not stupid enough to recognize that, like, if I was in his shoes, if I was like a fucking psychotic, despotic Republican leader, like the governor of an insane state like Florida, I would not do that. I wouldn't do these things. I would just keep saying, I would keep posturing, but I wouldn't actually act out on the concepts, because the entire reason for that posturing is so you deflect away from the real corporate power. Also, the notion that like someone went to Harvard is smart is really stupid. When George W. Bush, Jared Kushner, did Bush go to Yale? I think Bush went to Yale, not Harvard. But Jared Kushner went to Harvard. Like, you're a fucking idiot. You just, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Ted Cruz went to Harvard. Listen, Trump went to Penn. I'm going to tell you something. Going to a school like that doesn't imply that you're a smart person. It just means that your parents were wealthy or went to that school. That's usually what that means.
Revoke their license. For construction workers like Jose, he says half of the workers are already gone.
Many workers are leaving thinking they're going to be deported, so they're going to other states.
The bill also includes hospitals. Each facility that accepts Medicaid has to submit that person's immigration status. According to the Florida governor's website, taxpayers paid more than $226 million in healthcare costs for undocumented.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Here's a fun little trick, by the way. I want to mention something really disgusting that these Republican freaks put forward. The overall cost of healthcare for undocumented migrants is actually very, 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 very small. Okay? They often just have their their emergency room funds covered. They don't usually go to the doctor, like the actual doctor, because, they can't. Because one, it's expensive. Two, they're afraid of getting arrested. And so they just go to the ER and they don't pay because they don't have money. And that's not enough, though. They also pay for it in taxes because they are paying taxes. But that's still not enough for these fucking freaks that want to make it seem like there's this like major cost associated with undocumented immigrants. Okay? So you know what they do? Anytime you hear undocumented immigrants statistics, I'm not sure if this one is doing it, but always check to see if they mean the children of undocumented immigrants and the cost associated with that. Because although many of these children are born in the United States of America, we were full of shit. The ERs in my areas are full of fucking immigrants. Jesus Christ, dude. Wait, first of all, I just mentioned that. Yes, undocumented immigrants can oftentimes only utilize emergency rooms, and studies have been conducted on this, and it's like 0.5% or something, 0.05% of the overall spending on healthcare. Secondly, how do you fucking know that they're undocumented migrants, you little shitbird? What the fuck are you saying? How do you know, dog? Huh? How do you know that they're undocumented migrants in the hospital, in the emergency room? Do you go to the emergency rooms and like demand people's papers? What are you, the fucking Gestapo? How do you know that? I know we banned him, but I would love to know how he figured out that these guys were all, the people in the ER were all undocumented migrants. Why are you in the emergency room all the time, bro? He's like, dude, I keep sucking my own dick, dude. Okay? You don't understand. I got a rib removed to do a self-suck surgery. And it has a lot of health complications. I'm constantly finding myself in the ER. Okay? So many questions I want to ask that guy. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is a lot of these guys will do this incredibly awful and disgusting and racist thing where they make it seem like the children of undocumented immigrants that are born on U.S. soil are not real fucking U.S. citizens and treated as such, and add that into their overall calculation when they're calculating costs. So they'll say like undocumented immigrants cost $3 billion a year. And then you look at it and they're actually factoring in natural born U.S. citizens born on U.S. soil to one undocumented parent. To, one parent can be undocumented, the other one doesn't have to be. To one undocumented parent, automatically the child rearing and costs that American citizen has is factored into the overall number. Because these guys are fucking disgusting monsters. They're not serious people. They're just fucking awful racists.
Migrants last year. Now, working migrants like Huang say they're being threatened daily.
We are being treated like delinquents. They talk about ICE and police, and everything here is just really uncomfortable right now.
With the tens of thousands of migrants coming through the Texas border, Governor DeSantis says this bill should deter illegal immigrants from coming to Florida. But for those that are already here, like Maria, she says she'll stay, pray, and continue to work to help her family in hopes that she won't be deported.
Working hard to help my family seems impossible, but I just have to pray to God that everything works out.
The bill still needs to be signed by the governor, but once that happens, this law will take effect July 1st. I'm Gabrielle Arzola, CBS News, Miami.
As the Title 42 immigration policy ends on Thursday, the Biden administration is getting ready to introduce sweeping new restrictions for migrants. CBS News has learned that under the new policy, migrants who cross the southern border without authorization will be ineligible for asylum. That's unless they can prove they requested asylum in another country. The rule does not apply to unaccompanied children. Migrants will also need to pass interviews with heightened standards than the ones used today. Those who can't prove they're eligible face deportation and a 5-year banishment from the U.S. The full policy is expected to be published tomorrow.
Yeah. There you go, man. Have fun. No, I mean, have fun. This is like, it's not like these guys are unionized or anything, but they are united on the fear that they don't want to fucking leave the country. So they're just like leaving to go to a different state. There's plenty of jobs that are available to people that are willing to do it for that price point, that have no labor protections. And they have to be in a constant fucking permanent state of fear. It's really fucked up. It's so degrading. It's so awful. And worst of all, we have the capacity to take care of them. Except if we did take care of them, if we actually gave them the dignity to work just in the way that they normally do, but with an opportunity to demand higher pay, the opportunity to unionize, even though like the American labor force is not fucking unionizing anyway, that could impact the bottom line of the American corporations. It's great. You know what's not great? CNN. This shows what the take was when it happened in Alabama in 2010.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble.
Dog, this is the reason why Texas originally would fucking kill cops. Okay? Originally, in ranchers in Texas would go after fucking federal agents when they try to implement the Bracero program, okay? There was a time and place when Texas had a long storied tradition of like actually fucking firing at federal agents who were trying to process undocumented migrants under the Bracero program. And they were doing it not out of the kindness of their heart, mind you. They were doing it because they saw undocumented migrants as a necessary part of their fucking as a necessary part of their ranching operations, their agricultural output. Straight up. For the record, The United States of America has always had programs like this, whether it be the Bracero program or the Chinese Immigration Exclusionary Act. Like, there have been so many instances where the American law literally will carve out specific rules to continue having an influx of migrants that do not have any sort of legal recourse. It's especially for agricultural production.
Trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers.
I want to see this I want to see this video.
Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
No, there are, for the record. Yeah, Latinos have a slang term for ICE, which is la migra, chinga la migra, which means fuck immigration, where it originally started as a code word to identify ICE agents. Well, originally started, I think, as INS. Even that predates ICE. It's such a weird thing to have in a language. Yeah. Pinche migra, chinga la migra. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that there are people that would work. Everyone would work. It's just that you do not have the profit margins if you pay significantly more than like 30 cents a fucking gallon of potatoes. You know what I mean?
Sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared, you know.
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports
I
immigration.
don't think potatoes are measured in gallons. Man, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? They measure them with like buckets. It's literally like one bucket of potatoes, 30 cents. That's how they do it. And it's not just fucking potatoes either. Anything. Like, I'm talking like most agricultural output is measured by like literally one fucking idiotic metric, and they get paid like nothing.
Laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family farm.
Bushels and
You want to
baskets.
get rid of illegal immigrants? Quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating.
Yeah. Let's watch the whole Alabama video.
Alabama's tough new immigration law went into effect today, surviving for now a challenge from the Obama administration and others. The law will allow officials to check the immigration status of students in public schools and give the police new powers to determine whether someone is in the country illegally. A federal judge yesterday upheld those key provisions of the law. Mark Strassman is in Alabama with more about this new law and its impact.
Under Alabama's new immigration law, beginning today, police can question and detain suspected illegal immigrants and hold them without bond. The law's supporters complain the 60,000 people here illegally cost Alabama taxpayers $250 million a year in schools and social services. And Governor Robert Bentley promises enforcement will begin right away.
We have just passed a law that conforms with federal law. And we will see what happens. We expect them to do their job now.
Hassan, are you safe in London? What the fuck? Why the fuck would I not be safe in London, bro? What do you mean? I'm significantly more safe in London than I am in America.
And we'll see if they're going to do it.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin. The loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
Sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared, you know.
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family farm.
You want to get rid of illegal immigrants?
That's so funny. Oh, dude, he supports stricter border protocols. Yeah, exactly. Just not this one. Oh, I wonder why. Because he wants people to be there so he can fucking enslave them. Duh. That's the point, dude. Also, he's a third-generation farmer, brother. So what happened? Who's your pappy?
Quit eating.
Who's your grandpappy?
That's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
Scott, Governor Bentley says Alabama's new law is not about racial profiling and that only people suspected of breaking a law will be asked for their immigration papers.
Mark, I wonder about this provision that allows officials to check the immigration status of students in public schools. Has there been any reaction to that?
Well, put it this way, Scott. Alabama spends an estimated $160 million a year estimating the children of illegal immigrants. We've had reports locally around here that some of those families today worried either kept their children home or pulled them out of school altogether.
Mark, thank you very much.
Surely America will push a law that has nothing to do with racial profiling. Yeah. All right, let's get to the motherfucking. Wait, this is the after.
They think the work is so hard until they just turn around and they up and quit.
On the farm fields of Alabama, the verdict is in. The state's tough immigration law just isn't working out.
They're putting Alabamans back to work. In my area, experience that I've had, they ain't too good at what they do.
Keith Smith says most immigration workers left after the law took effect. So this potato farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field.
There's a Hispanic man that works for us, and I say, he's 52, and he'll make anywhere from $70 to $100 a day. I said, if you can keep up with him and do a good job, you can make that. But they're not physically in shape to do it. And, probably not mentally tough enough to do it, some of them.
Over on this tomato farm, the story's not much different.
The bending over, and if you're not used to working and kneeling down and bending over and constantly up and down all day long is the grueling part of it. It really is. I mean, other than that, it's not any harder than anything else you see with it.
With a 9.9 unemployment rate, Alabama is almost 1% higher than the national average. Tomato farmers say skilled workers can make anywhere from $200 to $300 a day, but unskilled workers make much less. And farmers say many Americans are not physically fit and simply don't work fast enough.
It's just going to take body conditioning, mental conditioning, in order to earn enough money to make it worth a day's work.
Politicians who support the law say over time more unemployed Americans will fill these jobs. They insist it's still too early to consider the law a failure. Nicole Grether, The Associated Press.
Nice. Immigrant workers versus local That was some Louder with Crowder shit, dude. That was loud. The other bullshit perspective I've seen is that we need immigrant workers because they pick the crops too fragile to harvest by machine, which is stupid. The only reason those machines don't exist yet is because enslaving people is cheaper. I agree with that. Wake up. I'm awake, bro. I have to be, I'm doing something, and I will not tell you what I'm doing right now, but don't worry about it. Never thought I'd hear Peso Pluma on the Hasanabi broadcast. All right, fucking finally, Anderson Cooper.
Before we begin with tonight's broadcast, I want to say something about what we witnessed at last night's town hall. Many of you have expressed deep anger and disappointment Many of you are upset that someone who attempted to destroy our democracy was invited to sit on a stage in front of a crowd of Republican voters to answer questions and predictably continued to spew lie after lie after lie. And I get it. It was disturbing. It was disturbing to see and hear that person refer to a black law enforcement officer as a thug, an adjective he used many times to describe black men, and call Caitlin Collins, the moderator, nasty, which is what he calls any woman who stands up to him. It was disturbing to hear him speak so highly of QAnon conspirators and insurrectionists who assaulted police officers in our democracy on January 6th. And it was awful to hear him spread ridiculous lies about the election. And it was certainly disturbing to hear that audience, young and old, our fellow citizens, people who love their kids and go to church, laugh and applaud his lies and his continued defamation of a woman who, according to a jury of his peers, he sexually abused and defamed. As good a job as Caitlin Collins did trying to fact check him, it is impossible to fact check fully because he lies so shamelessly. Now, many of you think CNN shouldn't have given him any platform to speak, and I understand the anger about that, giving him the audience, the time, I get that. But this is what I also get. The man you were so disturbed to see and hear from last night, that man is the front runner for the Republican nomination for president.
Bro, there's a difference between Trump being platformed, right? When he's like literally the president and doing shit and then you're covering it, versus giving Trump an hour with his own crowd, okay, so he can do what he does best, okay? I'm sorry, you did it for the ratings. You love Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump too, okay, for different reasons than you do. I just think he's great content, okay? I am personally entertained by how much of a psycho he is. Part of that is because I've completely given up on the idea that there's any way to combat these people, that there's any sort of like meaningful change that we can make in this country. Part of the reason is because it's just not, you know, these guys in CNN, in that hold institutional power in mainstream media are people who also literally want Trump to be president. Okay? You love him for the same reason. Well, there's a difference. I don't want Donald Trump to be president, but if he's going to be president, at least let's have some fun times. You know what I mean? These guys actually do have some power to stop that. If I'm at CNN, I'm not putting him on there. Okay? If I'm a Democratic Party loving, individual, I'm not putting Donald Trump up there on that fucking podium in front of his goddamn fucking fans, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. There's a difference between he's the front runner for the GOP. I know, but the fucking primaries haven't even started, dog. What are you talking about? You held a single person town hall for Donald Trump. Like, you don't need to do that. You want to hold a debate? I mean, you know, Trump will... There's going to be debates. You know what I mean? It's impossible for there not to be debates. But, like, that's entirely different than, like, having a fucking primary where you give him airtime with exclusive content that you were copy striking other people for watching, by the way. Like, it's ridiculous. Didn't Fox do that with Bernie Sanders? Yeah, and it was awesome. You want to know why? Because I like Bernie Sanders. And I think Bernie Sanders has a lot to say that the Fox News audience should hear from. That is precisely the reason why I don't like when CNN does this. But ultimately, I don't give a shit either. Like, let's be real. If it's Trump v. fucking Biden again, who gives a shit at this point? It's like, it's completely out of my hands. There's nothing I can say or do. It's just really funny to watch all of these media figures, though, like, take this role where they're like, well, we're serious about this. You have to hear things that are disappointing and maddening at times because this man is the president, and he's going to be the president again, by the way, because I'm doing everything in my power to make that happen. Like...
And according to polling, no other Republican is even close. That man you were so upset to hear from last night, he may be president of the United States in less than 2 years.
He's saying it, dude. Let's go. Yeah. And I'll do everything in my power to make that happen. I, Anderson Cooper, a Vanderbilt, by the way, will do everything in my power to do that.
And that audience that upset you, that's a sampling of about half the country. They are...
Not true. Literally not true. That's not true. Why are they going? This is so 2016. It's awesome. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so fire. Oh my God. This is literally like, hold up, we have to let them cook argument that we've heard so many times. It's so funny. Dude, they're gonna have Nazis on again, I think. Everything old becomes new once again. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You see it, you hear it, you forget about it. And then a 3-minute ad break happens. And you're like, what the fuck do I do? Well, don't worry. You can subscribe and avoid those ads. Okay? That's right. That's all you need to do. For $5 or for free, you can subscribe and avoid the top of the hour ad break. You can also get gifted a sub. If you are lucky, you can get gifted a sub and avoid the ads that way as well. But the 3-minute ad break comes for all of you that are unsubscribed at the top of the hour, regardless. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Your family members, your neighbors, and they are voting. And many said they're voting for him.
Get the Zelda. Okay. I love the Zelda chatters, and I will eventually get to it. Don't worry. Moms for Hassan, thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Maybe you haven't been paying attention to him since he left office. Maybe you've been enjoying not hearing from him, thinking it can't happen again. Some investigation is going to stop him. Well, it hasn't so far. So if last night showed anything, it showed it can happen again. It is happening again. He hasn't changed, and he is running hard. You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again. But do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away? If we all only listen to those we agree with, it may actually do the opposite. If lies are allowed to go unchecked, as imperfect as our ability to check them is on a stage in real time, those lies continue and those lies spread. If you're angry or upset, I understand, but you have the power to do something about it. You can actually get involved. You can make a difference, whatever side of the aisle you're on. After last night, none of us can say...
Dude, why are you talking like you're not a part of the institution that you're currently defending, mind you, for like its role in actively propping up this big bad guy that you're still claiming is big and bad? What is happening? I mean, I know what's happening. More up, dog. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs.
Say, I didn't know what's out there. I didn't know what's coming. We asked Republican senators for their thoughts about last night. Some preferred not to say anything. Others did. Here's a sampling of what we heard.
What's the reason for you not supporting him?
Where do I begin? President Trump's judgment is wrong in this case. President Putin and his government have engaged in war crimes.
I think people saw last night what they would get with another term of...
Yeah, that's what they were mad about. Trump's takes on Putin. Dude, this is awesome, man. That's your takeaway? That's the one thing? He's like, yeah, when he said, I want peace in Ukraine because war is bad for everybody.
Donald Trump is president, which is completely untethered to the truth, uncertain as to whether he wants Russia or Ukraine to win in the brutal conflict which Russia has imposed on Ukraine.
If you're asking me, do I think he should pardon people who engaged in like rioting behavior? No, I don't.
Anybody who crossed in to the into the Capitol under the circumstances that
I'm losing my mind. This is 2016. Prominent Republicans coming out in the primaries and speaking out against Donald Trump, saying he's like bad. I feel like capitalist profit seeking has basically kicked our content cycle into overdrive. Where like back in the day, trend cycles and news cycles would take like a decade to come back around. Now we're burning through it. It's every 4 years. The time loop is like whittled away until it was every fucking 4 years where you see the same shit.
I witnessed firsthand. It's hard for me to have a positive predisposition towards them.
Well, more now from Jessica Dean. She's at the Capitol for us tonight. What more are you hearing tonight, Jessica?
Well, let's start first with the Republicans, both in the Senate and the House. You just heard from some Senate Republicans there, Anderson, and people like Senator Mitt Romney. That's somebody who has been pretty outspoken against former President Donald Trump. But it was somewhat surprising to see somebody like Senator Josh Hawley push back against some of his positions that he took last night. And what we heard again and again in talking with these Republican members who pushed back against and had very different opinions than former President Trump, it really kind of circled around three issues. It was Ukraine and Vladimir Putin, and if he is a war criminal or not, and who should win that war. It was January 6th, and former President Trump's pledge to perhaps pardon people who were here at the Capitol as insurrectionists who have been convicted and are serving time. And then it was also, of course, the debt ceiling, which is what looms very heavy here right now as they work toward that June 1st deadline and allowing the nation to default. Those were really the key issues. We also heard similar things from members of the House GOP who kind of came back to those same issues as well. But Anderson, even in hearing some of these Republicans speaking out against the former president, that's still just a handful of people. And let's be very clear, he still has an enormous amount of power and an enormous support system here among Republicans on Capitol Hill.
And what about reaction from Democrats?
Well, as you can imagine, Democrats have never been fans of the former president, and that certainly continued. And what we saw was the Democratic Party really trying to attach Donald Trump, the MAGA Republicans, which has really been their line that they have, that President Biden has used as well, to kind of put them all together as a party that is too extreme to lead. And that is the case that we heard them making. We heard the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer talking about how President Trump has what he calls enormous sway over House Speaker Kevin McCarthy as he navigates these debt ceiling negotiations. We heard from Hakeem Jeffries, who leads the House Democrats, and he said that this was Exhibit A of the trauma that America would see if we have another 4 years with President Trump. And then we also heard from Richard Blumenthal, the senator from Connecticut, who said that if he were to pardon those January 6th rioters, that would be grounds for yet another impeachment in his eyes. So again, a lot from the Democrats that you would expect, really trying to stake their positions, make it very clear that they are quite different than the Democrats offer a very, very, very different view than Donald Trump and attaching him to that far right wing of the party. Also interesting, Anderson, just to go back to the Senate Republicans for 1 second, we did talk to the Senate Majority Whip, John Thune, who said it looks like a lot of Democratic campaign ads were written last night.
All right, Jessica Dean, appreciate it. Want to get some perspective now with me here, Republican consultant and CNN political commentator Margaret Hoover, host of Firing Line on PBS. Also Anthony Scaramucci, who briefly served as White House communications director to the former president, and our own chief White House correspondent, Phil Mattingly. Anthony, do you think anything has happened in the past 24 hours that have changed the dynamics for this GOP primary race?
Not yet, but I think you guys are bringing up something that could change it, and that is an onslaught of senators and House of Representatives, congressional leaders going against the president. I think that would be a snowball.
Dude, this analysis is so bad, dude. This is awesome. They have to be willingly, they have to know better. I don't think that they're this stupid. No. There's no way. There's no way. Bro, no. Am I crazy? Did I travel back in time? Someone explain to me. Did I travel back in time? Am I back in 2015? What's going on right now? Guys, I'm from the future. I found myself trapped in this London hotel. But I'm actually supposed to be living in California, Los Angeles, in 2023. And let me tell you something. What these panelists are saying right now is crazy. I've heard these before. I heard them say it in 2015, which is now, right now. You're hearing them, right? I heard them again in 2020. It's bullshit, guys. Donald Trump wins, okay? And CNN helps a lot. The Clinton campaign, with what we later found out called the Pied Piper strategy, wanted the media to cover Donald Trump a lot in the primaries because they thought he was the easy to beat candidate. She was wrong. She was wrong, guys. She lost. Donald Trump won.
Rolling in a direction that he actually couldn't stop. And so they're still fearing him because he's a big bully, and their political consultants are telling him, don't say anything about him or don't make a comment. But if they start to stand up to him the way Mitt Romney did, and you saw a glimmer of that with Senator Hawley, you will blunt him, you will slow him down. And remember, when the witch in The Wizard of Oz, the water accidentally spilled on the witch and she started melting, the soldiers turned to Dorothy and said, hey, geez, I'm sorry that we did this. And I think we're getting to that point right now where the water has to hit Trump and he has to start melting, and they have to show some bravery and courage.
There's a lot of munchkins on Capitol Hill, though. I mean, are they really ready to stand
More
out?
in the House of Representatives than the Senate, I would say. I mean, this is also about our electoral incentives and, what it takes to have political courage.
I'm
going to
kiss myself.
Right? There are U.S. senators who have recently been elected who who absolutely agree with everything Senator Tillis just said, by the way, just reelected, and didn't really mince words there in suggesting that he didn't really support returning an insurrectionist to the White House. So I think you're right, Anthony. This is the moment where Republicans and elder statesmen and women of the Republican Party have to self-police. We haven't done it for 6 years, and we have to start now, and it's going to be behind closed doors, and it's going to be open in public, but it has to be Republican on Republican, because the problem with Donald Trump's inertia right now is that he's seen as a victim by the media, the Democrats, the other people, and that's emboldening him. But if this is a Republican
what are
on
you
Republican
saying? What are you saying?
affront
Dude, this is
to
so
Donald
dumb.
Trump, then you got a chance at building a wedge and actually building momentum for someone else.
Phil, what are you hearing from the Biden White House? Because last night we were hearing, there are all these attack ads that were written last night because of so many lies were being told. Is that putting a brave face on it? Or, I mean,
No, it's not spin. And I think this is the value of, and I think the Republican senators are actually quite good at kind of surfacing this reality. When you take a step back from the very visceral passions of last night, one Democrat said this entire event was just triggering for our entire party. And I think we all get it and understand it. You addressed it.
Triggering? Dude, that's so belittling, dude. Oh, God, I hate this. I can't watch this discourse. I can't. This is more triggering than anything they could have ever done, okay? All right, let's skip the Disney thing and let's look at the YouTuber
Welcome to
drama.
the
I can't. No, they're saying triggering is a way to basically deflect away genuine criticism that their base of support has. Okay, that's why they're using the term triggering, because they're like, oh, these guys are just triggered by Donald Trump. No, they had valid criticisms over their own media because they're frustrated that the media channel that they consume is doing the same things that they did in fucking 2016 and 2015 that led to Donald Trump becoming president. You're giving him airtime for no fucking reason. They're just immediately dismissing that by being like, oh, these liberals are getting triggered. Like, you're a fucking asshole, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's not like your fan base is emotionally upset about this. I think they have some valid criticisms. I don't even give a shit, to be fair. Anyway, let's move on. There's YouTuber drama.
Splash zone. I'm just going to cannonball into the pool right away here because this story's got me heated. I am boiling right now. On YouTube, there is one unforgivable sin, an unwritten rule that every creator and user is aware of. It's kind of like a treaty, a truce that we've all shaken hands on and accept because It is inexcusable, slimy, and anytime someone tries to take a bite of the forbidden fruit, they rightfully get their cheeks disciplined. A very firm spanking from the whole community, and most of the time they end up pretty much losing their career from it, from their own self-destructive narcissism and greed. That is false copyright strikes.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's what we're talking about today. A big YouTube channel named Magnates Media is facing termination because he received 3 fraudulent copyright strikes from another YouTube channel named Business Casual, aka Alex Edson. Now, Alex Edson is a special fucking malicious goofball. You see, this guy didn't even build the Business Casual channel from scratch or anything. He bought it when it was already extremely popular. So he didn't even put the fucking work in, which is an absolute goober move off rip. But you've probably heard of this channel recently because he had a viral video talking about why he's suing YouTube. And while there is some compelling points and evidence, there's also a bunch of dirty barnacles in here as well, with some shady claims and some claims that were just absolutely wrong, like provably false. But overall, like, the video did have a lot to it, which is why it was so popular, and it was well put together. It was high production and made some good points and some not so great points. But overall, it was kind of odd. And a couple YouTubers actually pointed out a lot of it. In fact, Upper Echelon made 3 videos kind of covering all of it, which I think make very good points. Overall, the whole thing was odd, if nothing else. And
what was the points? Charlie, come on, man. Give me some of the points, dog. Like, what did the Business Casual channel say? I need to understand, like, the dynamics here. Why was it a good video, and why were the bad? What were the bad videos? Or were the bad points, rather?
now Alex is back from the septic tanks. He's risen from the sewers like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's bringing bad news. He's striking down Magnates Media with what I and anyone with a functioning cerebral cortex will classify as blatant abuse of the copyright systems. So, he's issued 3 strikes to Magnates Media, which sets his channel up for termination in the coming days.
Yeah, I know this part sucks, okay? Watch the video. The world will not... Wait, this is a true story. A story about YouTube intentional efforts to undermine the United States of America in collusion with the Russian government. It's also a story about copyright infringement and YouTube's willful blindness to bad actors who openly admit to filing patently... Wait, what? This guy did not make a fucking YouTube video about false copy strikes? Also, what the hell? But also, what? Undermine the United States of America in collusion with the Russian government? What the fuck? Dude, this is so unhinged. What are the good points in this? I guess the copyright ones.
He's already received a notice that his channel will be taken down because of these strikes from Business Casual. Let me just lay down the brass tacks here with the level of lunacy we're dealing with these claims. So, Business Casual is basically taking away Magnates Media's entire livelihood because he believes that some of his content looked similar to his based on an editing technique called parallax editing. So he struck him 3 times for 3 separate videos.
What?
The total content time of those 3 videos is over an hour and a half long. And of those 3 videos, in total, 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds worth of footage, Alex is saying belonged to him. So in one of the videos, it is actually just a single image that lasts for like 3 seconds, and he's saying that he stole it directly from his video because the parallax editing technique was a dead giveaway.
Is he going to show us?
But Magnates Media has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that not only is that image a public domain image, because they were covering a similar topic, so of course they're going to have similar images because it's a fucking public domain image. So he proved it's a public domain image and that the parallax editing technique was done by his editor. And he has...
Bro, is he Mr. Parallax? I don't get it. Is he John Parallax of Parallax Editing Incorporated? Do you own the editing technique? What the fuck? It's like, bro, Ken Burns effect is like a very common effect, right? Ken Burns did invent it. It would be ridiculous for Ken Burns to try to copy strike motherfuckers for using it. It is incredibly commonplace. Okay? That's like a real effect for the record. It's when you punch into a photo to make it look more dynamic and like slowly pan in and zoom into it, okay? By the way, I know that because I myself am a motherfucking, well, I did edit a lot of videos, okay? It doesn't, there's no proprietary editing technique in that regard, okay? That's not parallax editing. Oh my God, I'm going to headbutt you. I'm talking about literally things that you can do, okay, when you are editing a fucking video, okay, that is not copyrighted. It's like ridiculous. It's a style. Why are you so fucking stupid? Literally, it's a feature edit setting in iMovie. You're not... What is happening? What is happening with chatters? Can I explain something that I at least have, like, some level of fucking understanding over without dumbass, without dumbass chatters just, like, jumping down my throat to be like, no, I know better than you.
Any copyright. Now, according to Upper Echelon, who have the screenshots over here, from zero to world's richest man, right? That was the actual title for the video. Yeah, that was the one right there. I just got to check in my notes. And this video was 53 minutes long. Business Casual's video was 16 minutes long. And basically, this image was basically the target point. Now, what is this image, you might ask? So this image is from the Library of Congress, okay? The Carnegie Steel Plant, Homestead, Pennsylvania. And if you look into this image right here, it's pretty cute, all right? If I compare it back to our friend's content, so to speak. Yeah, this is the exact same image, all right? Same chimney, same...
Muda's about to get copy strike by this motherfucker, dude.
Same everything. Now, this image, if we scroll all the way down this page to rights and access, the Library of Congress believes that many of the papers in the Detroit Publishing Company collection are in the public domain or have no copyright restrictions and are free to reuse and reuse. For example, all photos published in the US more than 95 years ago are in the public domain. So when was this image published, by the way? Let me get an exact. 1905. Yeah, I'd say it fits the fucking bill, huh? Now, of course, we look at what public domain is. Public domain refers to creative materials that are not protected by intellectual property laws, such as copyright, trademark, or patent laws. So anybody can use this image. If I want to take this image and rotoscope it onto GTA 5, I can. It's my right, okay? I can do some motion tracking, add some lens flare, you know it. Now, of course, what happened over here was Business Casual apparently filed a copyright claim for what appears to be similar editing. Now, here's where I'm going to play a section of Business Casual's video in fair use, okay? The reason why I'm saying it's in fair use is I'm going to be critiquing the differences, and if Business Casual believes that I'm violating his copyright, obviously, he can use the YouTube copyright system, but I will absolutely be fighting it, okay? Because I believe what I am about to do is within fair use. So let's watch this, okay? So on the right here is Magnates Media, and on the left belongs to Business Casual's video. So if we actually see what's going on over here, you can see that in Magnates Media, they've got a, I guess you could say a parallax effect. So this kind of weird effect that you would see in like a lot of videos where like parts of the image are moving in different relations to different parts of the image. It's something that you can see plenty of people do. It's a very common editing routine. In fact, it appears that
it is quite literally identical, for the record, to what I was responding to and what I was comparing it to. The Ken Burns effect is a different style of editing, okay? It is the exact same concept, similar to parallax, where you punch in slowly, you pan in slowly into a fucking still image to give it more life, okay? It was most commonly used by Ken Burns, okay? Now it's literally a part of like, CapCut and it's like a thing that you can do. It's literally like a plugin basically. But originally, that's how you did it. It was modifying a still image by making it look more lively by zooming in. Parallax is one step further. You add additional stuff to the background to make it seem like the foreground is moving in a different direction. It's super common. You don't own that. That's not a thing. Ken Burns owns Ken Burns Effect, but he would never be able to fucking copy strike it because that would be ridiculous. Okay? We just learned together. Chill, bro. Suck my dick. No, I'm yelling at the one chatter who was like, Ken Burns is very different than Parallax. It's identical. Okay?
It's like.
Anyway. Let's finish this real quick.
And even in this case, Magnates Media provided, their editor provided the timeline of them actually doing it themselves. So again, it appears, based on what I'm looking at, that these effects are very different, okay? You got color grading that's different. Magnates has explosions. You've got, these fire effects, these various, alpha effects that are happening. Far different than what we're seeing over here on business casual side, okay? So again, if this was to go to a court of law, I think any judge would laugh this shit out. This looks like copyright trolling. But of course, as you all know, when it comes to copyright trolling, all right, it really does seem like business casual's, actual claim to fame really is covering, it's not so much making content because he hasn't uploaded a video since he was suing YouTube, but rather he's just tweeting out at companies about, hey, I'd like to report an infringement of your series. May I ask for an appropriate person to contact? Good luck, I guess. Now, again, if Magnates Media absolutely doesn't win these, copyright strikes, then literally tomorrow, since it would be the 11th as of time of doing it, he could have his channel gone, removed off YouTube forever. All the hours of work gone. I want to stress that if my editor had literally just ripped several minutes of footage from his content and simply copied it into my own video with no edits, I'd understand the strikes. But he didn't. Yeah, sure, you could argue that maybe the editing might be a little similar to your tastes, but that's not worthy of just filing a copyright strike over, okay? Literally, we watched it. There were a lot of differences present on that image alone. Anybody could take that public domain image and parallax affect it. It's not an uncommon editing strategy. It's not a patented, editing strategy that business casual owns. Plenty of people do it. A couple of weeks ago, there was this Illuminati chick who was fucking going at Legal Eagle about the highlighter effect. You can't just copyright the most generic editing effects out there. Yeah. Jesus Christ. At least in that situation, copyright strikes weren't handed out. But I mean, it was still cringe. This is cringe, and I would argue it actually breaks the law. Now,
imagine motherfuckers being like, yeah, I copyrighted this brush stroke. You're not allowed. I hate that, man. God, dude, this is a byproduct of capitalism. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what you say. You might say, Hassan, you say everything's capitalism. This is literally capitalism. I fucking despise IP. I hate it so much. I tell you all the time how much I fucking hate IP. I hope this kind of shit allows you to understand why I hate IP. Because it just, this is what it's used for. I'm copywriting trimming video clips down. Yeah. Yeah. This is called cutting a film and trimming it down, and I invented it. I invented editing. My name is John Edit. Inventor of editing. You fucked up, sir. You will be hearing from my lawyers. Okay?
Like a 16-minute video showcasing his editor doing the editing on that photo to prove he didn't take it from business casual. And they don't even look similar in any of these cases, but this is how outrageous Alex Edson's claims are. In total, about 10 seconds he has a problem with, saying that it looks similar to his work, thus it must have been stolen, and he has a right to terminate this channel. And Magnates Media channel will be terminated because of these 3 strikes as of right now. He's already received the notice that it's coming. It's right around the corner. That is fucking...
My hotel room features some snacks. I have to pause here for a second because I invented pausing as well. I'm John Pause. I'm John Pause Edit. And I invented pausing and reacting to videos. I'm John Pause React Edit, actually. Fancy to meet you. Anyway, there was a Kit Kat bar in the snack bar of my hotel room. And I thought it would be fine. I thought it'd be a normal Kit Kat. It's a caramel Kit Kat. And I have to tell you something. This is probably like $50. Okay, I don't know how much it is. This is the worst Kit Kat I've ever had in my entire fucking life. It's so bad that I thought maybe it's gone bad. Like, it tastes so... It almost tastes fucking sour. Disastrous. It's so fucking bad. Disgusting. I threw it out. It's no scran. It's no fucking scran. I'll tell you that. It's no scran. Anything outside of Cadbury is unedible. Anyway, back to the video though. I invented the secret middle of the hour ad breaks as well, by the way. And also I invented the top of the hour ad break, which is not here yet.
Frightening and just downright evil from Business Casual. Upper Echelon made an incredible video going over this entire subject from top to bottom, inside and out. I highly recommend checking out that video. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. He does an amazing job breaking it all down thoroughly, as well as some other incredibly fucked up things Alex has done.
If you read the other provisions of the DMCA Safe Harbor, Section 512, it's clear that Congress did not want parties to have to sue to enforce their rights. So while it may be that the system could be gamed on the other side, that's how Congress intended it to be. End quote. That right there is Business Casual arguing that simply because he filed some strikes, it therefore means that YouTube needs to terminate the entire channel without him proving anything in a court of law. That's what we just read. And that appears to be precisely what he's doing now to a channel named Magnates Media.
What he was reading there comes from a completely different case, but just hearing that is beyond alarming. That is fucking chaos. That is the opening of Pandora's box in the worst way imaginable. So Alex Edson is an actual villain. And what he's doing here is completely unjustifiable. This is beyond fucking tragic. There's absolutely no argument he nor anyone could make on his behalf that would justify him taking down an entire channel, ruining the entire career and livelihood of that creator.
Whenever Charlie brings up like a YouTuber like Upper Echelon, I guess, and people go, oh, dude, he's like an annoying centrist. Like, I don't care. I don't care who the fuck this person is. I don't care what the fuck their background is. And I don't care that Charlie's promoting them. What I do care about is motherfuckers abusing copyright protections. I hate copyright in general. I hate IP in general. And this is part of the reason why I fucking despise them. Okay? The system itself is created and designed so that people can take advantage of it in this way, and it's really fucked up. So I don't care if someone is a fucking centrist who's talking about it. I have my principles are on my principles on this matter are on their side. Okay, it don't matter.
Based on similarity of public domain images. Now they made videos on similar topics. Obviously, they did do that, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like Alex owns that whole topic or anything. And Alex even made a bold claim that Magnates Media stole his scripts from his videos, which is so laughably delusional. I imagine he was twirling his little evil mustache when he made that claim, because Business Casual's videos on the same content as Magnate Media
are like
is
15
like
minutes long.
19 minutes, 20 minutes long sometimes.
He makes hour-long
Magnate's
videos.
Media coverage is like 50 plus minutes long. So Magnate's Media does a much more thorough breakdown and deep dive on everything than Business Casual. So how the fuck would he have stolen any of the scripts? But even still, Magnate's Media played ball with it. He tap danced with the claims and still proved his innocence by showing all of the timestamps of the editing done to his script from fucking start to finish. Alex tried to claim that he stole his scripts and plugged it into ChatGPT to generate a somewhat different script while still maintaining his video's DNA. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just using random buzzwords in his stupid little smooth brain. That's so laughable. What a fucking joke of a person. And it's sickening to see him do this to someone he views as competition. That's the only explanation I can think of for why he'd even target this channel. There is absolutely no justification or argument someone can make that would convince me that what Alex is doing here is just, and he has a right to do so. If there really was an issue where he felt like these images were stolen, like, oh, you took this image that my editor worked hard on editing, he could have reached out to Magnates Media. And Magnates Media has said multiple times on Twitter that he has tried to reach out to Alex himself to try and resolve this whole situation amicably. But Alex isn't responding. He's giving the cold shoulder, fucking full radio silence. But you could have reached out and said, hey, can you remove that? Or some other different solution that doesn't involve striking. That is the nuclear option. That is the harshest punishment that you can dish out. And it's highly unnecessary here when all of the offending content that you believe is too similar to yours only accounts for 10 seconds out of over an hour and a half worth of content. That makes no sense. It's fucking ridiculous. And
yeah, I mean, the entire purpose, it seems, of this kind of activity, this kind of behavior, was to literally stop him from existing.
It's shameful. It is beyond shameful. Another YouTuber made a great video covering this situation as well, which I'll link in the description too, and he leads to a bigger conversation to be had about what this could mean for the entire platform going forward, as well as he talks about something that I think is important we mention as well, that if Magnates Media tries to push back and defend himself, fight back against Alex Edson legally, Alex Edson may very well just turn around and sue him. He has shown he is more than willing to do that, and it just seems like he is vaguely alluding to the fact that he would be open to doing that against Magnates Media should he try and defend himself against his claims here. So, just an actual piece of shit. Now, what Scott highlights and something that I'd also like to talk about is what it could mean for the whole platform should this behavior continue. It would mean that if you, let's say, are doing a, video essay on a topic that another channel has covered, you might be at risk of them striking your channel down because you used the same image they used. You were covering the same topic and you may have used the same image, and maybe you just used very standard editing techniques like, TV static effect, or a very common one you see in all...
You can't do it. I invented that. Yeah. I'm Mr. John Pause Reacts Edit TV static effect, actually. That's my full name. And let me tell you, I made that up, actually. That's my effect. You'll be hearing from my lawyers, sir. Yeah.
Video essays these days are
yes,
the crumpled
chat,
paper.
Stop making fun of me. We're Spanish, okay? I have added on all of my forefathers' names into my name, okay?
Backgrounds. A lot of video essays today use the crumpled paper background. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, should this kind of shit continue, you could very well be next on the chopping block for someone who said, hey, I have a right to use the crumpled paper background. You have lifted my editing technique. This work is too similar to mine. Here's a strike for it. I think it's pretty obvious how that would be absolutely awful to the platform overall. So really the whole thing is terrible. This whole situation is really bad for YouTube entirely. I've only scratched the very tip of this iceberg with how disgusting this whole situation is, so I do encourage you once again to watch the Upper Echelon video as well as Scott Schaefer's video. Mudahar also just posted something about it, and all three of them are far more knowledgeable on all of the nuance to this subject than I am. I just wanted to give a general overview of everything.
Thanks so much. If he just reached out and said he was unhappy that those 2 to 3 seconds look similar, I'd have happily cut them. And I've tried emailing him several times to see if there's some way we could sort this out between us, but he ignored the question. I've later found out that he has a history of stuff like this from back when he ran Power TV MCN, but that's a whole different rabbit hole. The problem I have is he immediately went to filing 3 strikes so my channel will get deleted. And while I'm countering, as I have no other choice, I can't post videos while the strikes are under review. And the next step is he could now file a lawsuit. Ordinarily, a creator would obviously never do that over literally a few seconds of footage. but he does have a history of lawsuits, and even if you're in the right, it can be a really long, expensive process still. Whilst I don't think my videos deserve to be taken down in the first place, I'm still willing to make whatever changes would make him happy. I just don't want to lose my entire channel despite the channel name. This isn't some big media company. I'm just a guy making videos with a few freelance editors who help me, and this channel is my entire livelihood. Surely there has to be some different solution here. Thanks again for everyone sharing this. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. This is happening in my community as well. As you guys know, I have a principled stance on copyright and IP. I personally do not have any kind of IP over my content that I stream for 8 hours a fucking day, which is why we have a wonderful Clips Industrial Complex. All of the channels, with the exception of like 3 channels that you see on my main YouTube page, are actually owned and operated entirely separate from me. They are owned and operated by fans. These are the only channels I have. Here you go. I'll show them to you. Number 1, youtube.com/c/Hasanabi. Number 2, youtube.com/Hassan. Okay. This is my second channel where I do vlog content. Be on the lookout for the Picket vlog that's coming out soon, hopefully. Hasanabi Gaming, which is, started re-uploading videos again. And it's active again as I am gaming again. And last but not least, Fear and. These are my YouTube channels. These are the channels that I own and operate. Every other channel outside of these 1, 2, 3, and 4 channels is completely separate from me. Okay? They're owned and operated by fans. They're owned and operated by fans. Once again, I repeat, they're owned and operated by fans. They take my IP, they take my clips, and or they take my entire VOD, and they upload it. Now, because of that, there are fans out there that make a lot of fucking money, and it's great. Good for them if they want to do that. However, in that process, there are also some pieces of shit that have come on board and taken advantage of the process. Now, if they were just like a random Vietnamese bot channel that was just uploading my videos, there could be some issues. Okay, there could be some issues down the line. Like, not clipping anything, maybe not doing any edits whatsoever. Okay? But these guys have taken it a step too far. This channel that owns like multiple Hasanabi related named channels has been copy striking other fan channels. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is the Hasanabi Clips Industrial Complex.
Ooh, a fresh pie. Save me a slice. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's... All right, that's good. Okay. All right, okay, all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough slices!
There are literally hundreds of them. Okay? We watch their channels, we watch their clips, we watch their editing every time they edit stuff. They changed their name from Hasanabi Capital to Hasanabi Huge and are deleting all the comments about it. So, we called them out a while ago. This is the channel. They changed their name after they were doing this shit, and then Pinely called them out for literally taking a VOD rip of me reacting to a Pinely clip, a Pinely video, and putting my face on the thumbnail over Pinely's face. And then that video got more views than his original video, and he got very upset about it. And that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. So, this channel doesn't even have, they don't even follow the one thing that I asked them to do, which is, I guess they are linking my Twitch, so that is there. Never mind. I asked them to link my Twitch and openly state that it's a fan-made channel. Okay, so they have that. They're doing that. That's it. If you want to use my clips, if you want to make videos, you want to edit them, you can do so. It's fine. They don't change their name. They get demonetized and buy new channels. Oh, okay. And if you look at their channel and you look at their oldest videos, all of a sudden you realize like, oh, this was a channel that was different not that long ago. Max Leaching 1 versus Max Leaching 2 in Bed Wars. These were the videos that they were uploading not that long ago. Only 2 months ago, they were uploading Max Leaching videos, whatever the fuck that is. I got the free Vortex sword effect in Bed Wars Blockman Go. Then it turns into a Hasanabi Clips channel 5 days ago. The decay of Aiden Ross, the saddest Andrew Tate simp, banned, predictable. And then all of a sudden, their videos start popping. Texas mass shooting, 60K views. 8 killed, 7 injured in shooting at Texas Mall, 21K views. And these aren't like edited videos. They're just taking they're taking clips off of my VOD and just uploading it. Okay? And they're even doing like very old ones. Look at this. So this channel that owns like a bunch of other Hasanabi channels as well, like they have a bunch of fake ones, has started issuing copyright takedown notices again on my fucking fan channels using my VODs. They're fucking it up for everybody else. Okay? You want it to be taken down or not? Of course I want them to be taken down, but you can't take them down because they just keep coming up. Look at this. Strike. Content removed by Win, not 10. Aiden Ross is destroying YouTube. Details on both strikes from Hasanabi Industries. Strangers with language barriers reject each other on the button. Taken down by Win, not 10 again. They're hitting 3 strikes on Hasanabi Clips Industrial Complex channel providers over and over again with my fucking VODs. With my VODs. It's absolutely insane. Why the hell is YouTube honoring these claims? Because YouTube has a policy of always honoring every fucking copy strike claim. Is there nothing you can do? There is something I can do. I can start using YouTube Content ID. The unfortunate problem is that if I want to fight back against them, because they keep apologizing, they keep deleting their channels and then coming back and doing it again. If I wanted to stop them, I would have to literally have Content ID, upload my VODs to YouTube, and diligently strike them down. All the fucking time. There's nothing you can do to like stop them specifically from doing this. Okay? Pay someone to do this, why not? Then I'm falling into the same fucking trap. I've reached out to Time to Get a PA, just a suggestion. Yeah, dude, it's not about a fucking personal assistant, you idiot. Stop. I could just like hire someone to do it. God damn it, you're so fucking stupid. Chatters are so fucking stupid. Like, just literally sitting there and being like, ugh, just pay someone to do it, stupid. Why didn't you think of that? Because I don't want someone to fucking constantly copy strike motherfuckers that are using my VODs, because what if it's a fucking real channel? You know what I mean? What if it's a normal fucking paid channel? Or not a paid channel. What is a normal fucking fan channel? YouTube wants me to do that desperately. They also keep demonetizing fan channels, and I keep telling them not to do that because I don't care. YouTube has a content policy of not allowing, what is it? It's like too much of the same content or something. I forget what it's called. Yeah, they consider it duplicate content, and they don't want it. So they constantly fucking tackle fan channels over and over again. It's very frustrating. I don't like it. The only way to avoid duplicate content on YouTube as a fan channel is if you actually edit your videos, okay? You have to do a little bit of editing. That's it. Okay? It just fucked up that, like, I have to create some kind of ownership over my own IP so I can stop other fucking IP sharks from coming in, stealing the IP, and then harming others who are using the IP in the same way that they're using it. It's so fucking weird, man. I hate that. I actually hate that. They also bought the likes to gain in the algo. Look at the likes versus the views. Yeah, they do. They bought likes, 1.8k likes, 842 views in an hour. Hasanabi Capital, the original account, the original offender. And apparently they don't just do it to me. They do it to Charlie. They do it to Asmongold. They do it to XQC. They do it to literally everyone. It's very weird. I literally thought you owned that channel. No, man. I only own 4 channels. I told you. Fear and Hasanabi Gaming, Hassan, and Hasanabi. Okay? And I don't know what the fucking solution is. The solution is for YouTube to stop them from operating, but I don't even know how YouTube can stop them from operating. It's so fucked up. Anyway. I'm moving on from this. We're moving on to greener pastures. Okay? YouTube needs a content ID system where you can list things for free use. Yeah, like whitelist content. Anyway, I want to watch the most evil middle schoolers in South Korea that got away with murder because this seems like a fucking absolutely insane story. Even though there's a lot of talking and not a lot of visuals, I feel like, which is not my favorite kind of video to watch on stream. Like, I like more B-roll and shit.
Where are they?
But I think it's about that time.
Damn, this guy's good.